Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to welcome you to another Telfed event in Jerusalem. Our hosts are Mizrahi Olami, World Mizrahi, and it's an honor and a privilege for me to introduce to our guest speaker, Brit. Brit was born and raised in Berlin. She moved to Israel at a young age of 18, full of ambition and commitment to serve. After serving in the military spokesman's unit for 2 years, she continued working on the dynamic path of Israel advocacy and built a dynamic path in building cultures and bridging cultures and communities. During the war, she served 5 months in the unit in reserve duty, and she's now recently ended a position at the Ein Pre-Military Academy. Recently, she's been accepted into a job in the Knesset to be a spokeswoman for one of the Chavrei Knesset. Her journey from a young immigrant to a voice in Israel's international discourse is a testament to the power of determination and integration. It's an honor and a privilege for me to invite my dear friend Brit to share insights and advice for successful living in Israel based on her personal experiences.
Since the past 10 months to have actually a day that starts with good news and also ends on a very good note. This morning, and it's good news, it's good news when you're a bus driver. Israeli bus drivers are they don't have patience or nothing. When they say greet everyone with have a good day, that's like wow. So yeah, and then ending with Olim Chadashim, which is always, it fills me with so much joy and pride to stand in front of Olim Chadashim. And I always raise that question, why did you guys choose to come here to a country? Every human being with a bit of common sense would choose a country that's under attack, and especially Israel that's being attacked and threatened on all of its borders. So you could have chosen Hawaii, sit on a beach, and then, drink your coconut water and relax. But that shows me that our connection, the connection of the Jewish people to this country, is so much deeper and something that's not very natural. There is something very special that connects us and our soul to this country. I always ask myself, I remember since I was 5, even smaller than that, my mom is here to testify that, I was always much more connected to Israel than to Berlin, where I grew up. So a little bit about myself. I was born actually here, but I moved to Germany when I was 1 year old. I grew up there until I was 18. Went there to a Jewish kindergarten, Jewish elementary school, and then I went to a public high school. And since I'm tiny, we've been to Israel every time, like every vacation for 6 weeks or more. And every time we came back, I started crying. I didn't want to do anything. I was like, I didn't want to go back. And we've been in Israel also in times of war, during the second Intifada, during the second Lebanon war. So it wasn't always like all, just going to the beach, having fun, enjoying family. So I've also been in times that were a bit tougher. But still that connection and the will to be here and to live here was so strong. Again, something I cannot really explain. So, as I said, it's an unnatural, something not natural connection that goes deeper. So yeah, after I graduated from elementary school, I went to a public high school, and I was the only Jew there. There were maybe 2 more that we knew of. I don't know if there were others that didn't want anyone to know, but I remember when I got there, I also hid my identity first. I was really scared because you come from kindergarten or elementary school, that's all you see, security, and everything is like there's cameras all over, and then you go to a public high school and there's nothing. And every bag I saw that was somewhere and no one was standing next to it, I already, it was alarming to me. I thought it's a bomb. Everyone else just passed like it's nothing. And so I was very hesitant in the beginning, but then I couldn't hide it anymore, and then it was out. Everyone knew. I was very lucky that there weren't so many incidents. There were some, but I guess every Jew experiences it, every Jew that lives abroad. And so when I got out, and we talked about Israel and the situation here and everything. I was the Prime Minister of Israel, the Chief of Staff, and I had to explain everything that happened here, and I was made responsible for everything that happened. And so actually, already there, I was put in the position that I'm also now like explaining, doing hasbara, Israel democracy. That's something that I think it's meant to be. That's my purpose. And I already knew when I was 16. I knew before that I want to come here and serve in the army. But when I was 16, I said, okay, I want to go to the IDF spokesperson unit. And I remember on Shabbatot, Friday night, when we were sitting around the Shabbat table and we were discussing everything and trying to, I don't know, get a solution for every conflict in this world. I said, I remember my parents, when we spoke about me going into the army, my dad said, Brit, the army at the end puts you wherever they need you, not wherever you want to. So if they need a cook, you're going to be a cook. But now that's not going to work. I have to get into the spokesperson unit. So one time my parents allowed me to fly during a short vacation to Israel. I went to the spokesperson's unit's office, knocked on the door, said, here I am, I want to come and serve here. Didn't know anything about the army, how things work. And and then I was in touch with my commander for over 3 years until I was 18 and came to Israel. Came on the first day that Tzuk broke out. It was literally, I was on the plane, we couldn't land for like 30 minutes because the sirens went off. And the second I landed, I already wanted to run to the Lishkat Bius and knock on the door and say, here I am, and called my commander. I told him, help me, how can I get in? They said it's going to take so much time until they draft you need to do all the tests and whatever. Went there, I said, I can't wait, I have to do it now. And I said, yeah, you have to be, especially for you, if you want something, you need to be like a bit chutzpah and just do it. Like, if someone says no, it's a yes, but they could be, as you say. So yeah, thank God I got into my unit, and these were the two most memorable and most important years. I think what I did there and how much I grew, and it was incredible. I see my friends now, my friends in Germany who started studying, then stopped and traveled and whatever, and still didn't really find themselves in me. The service gave me much more than I feel like they gave to this country. I did my bachelor in political science and international relations in Berlin. And then I came back again for good. And I worked still in hasbara. I was also the spokeswoman and personal assistant of Deputy Mayor Glassman. She's, by the way, if you're on Instagram or social media, follow her. She's amazing. She really does so much for hasbara-wise and incredible. Also did, I worked for a hasbara program for released former lone soldiers together with the Foreign Ministry. And now I'm doing something that's, I think, a big dream of mine, being in the Knesset as a spokeswoman. And it's crazy right now, insane times. I also, the 5 months I've been in, I almost forgot to tell about that, 5 months of reserve duty actually, that were thrown into a reality, I think, that is unimaginable. I remember on Simchat Torah, me and my sister, we were sleeping still in the morning. We've been woken up by the sirens. We still didn't really realize. It took us like a minute until we made that switch and understood it's really there's something going on. I've been called into reserve duty before, but this time when I got the call from my commander, he said, Brit, it's war. And before that, it was always an operation or something like that. But this time it was really wartime, and the first time we've been to the kibbutzim and to the south was 2 days after the 7th. And the things we've seen, we've been also in Gaza. The things we've seen was, can't even put it into words. But it was even more beautiful to see how resilient we are as a nation, as a country, and incredible how like a phoenix we rise from the ashes, and we have so much strength, and it's just incredible. And seeing and speaking in front of Olim Chadashim that come in times like these is even more incredible, and that's what makes us strong. And that's why we're gonna win, because we're strong people, we have the emunah, and we never give up. And I think that's the most important thing, and the lesson that we take from here is to never give up. As long as you believe in something, I think nothing can break us. The sky is the limit. You can apply this to everything. And I said also to Lori, I didn't want to talk too much. I wanted to open it up for discussion, questions, and so if you want to, if there's any questions, I'd love to.
Oh, yeah, yes. What was your job in, like I know you said you were a spokesperson, but what does like that entail?
So there's many positions within the spokesperson unit. You have the people who are working directly with the journalists. That was my job. I worked with foreign media. So what we did, and now in reserve, is let's say briefings of diplomats or politicians, of journalists, releasing press releases, answering media queries, briefing also IDF officers, and maintaining relationship with relevant press agencies. And during the war, it's like all over the place. It's much more, I think also mentally, but it's much harder and tougher than in like when it's more quiet. So that's basically.
How would you, if you were the commander of the spokesperson's department in the IDF, what improvements would you suggest, do you think you would make to the way that, to the image that Israel has around the world?
First of all, I think that's something that actually has improved, is giving or journalists that contact us, to give them to be faster with our responses. The thing is, we are fighting here against Hamas, a terror organization, that their spokesperson units, very good. What they do is fake news, and that's super easy to release, and they don't have any ethical codex they follow, and I mean, releasing shkarim and fake news is much easier than the truth. So the thing is, we're not going to win this war against that. The media war is already won by now. Pictures, I mean, a picture says more than 1,000 words, you say. So if they come with all those fake pictures of dead bodies and kids, and we've proven that they're fake, but that's what the press wants to see. And so we need to be faster, but I'm very proud that we are still, we have an ethical codex, and we're checking our facts, and it takes longer, and at least, we are releasing truth. So we're doing our best. The thing is, people hate us, they hate us. No matter what we release, they'll still hate us. There's a lot of people who a lot of journalists that come here and they have this like, don't bother me with facts, I got my opinion already. So they have their opinion and they're looking for the materials that confirm their opinion. And also they have a very easy life. I mean, there's no other country in the world where you can, I don't know, be on the front lines and then 2 hours later sit on the beach and sip your beer. So they want to have an easy life. They want to have their headlines. What's better than dead children in Gaza? And we've seen in this war so many times, let's say, if we take the case of Al-Shifa hospital, where they accused us of attacking the people there sending bombs, and they found this grave next to it with a lot of dead people and said this is because the IDF sent the bomb there. And at the end, turned out that they buried their dead people just there. And so CNN, Fox News all went out with like huge headlines that said IDF is killing innocent civilians in Shifa hospital, and then they said, oops, sorry, fake news. Took it back, but it was already out. So we need to be faster, but still, sometimes, I mean, you can't beat them all.
I agree with absolutely everything that you said, including your statement that the well-known adage that a picture's worth 1,000 words, as you mentioned. And I agree that the playing field is so unbalanced, is totally unbalanced. But within that, one of the things that I personally, I don't know how other people feel about this, but one of the things that I find is problematic is when an IDF spokesman speaks about, for example, we discovered such and such in a tunnel, or we found under a bed. Often it comes without the graphic.
Without the graphic.
Often, not always, but often. And as you say, it's the graphics that make it. And of course, their graphics are more graphic, but I find often you hear a spokesman making mention of a certain piece of information where the graphic is obvious and that there isn't the picture or the video of the...
So it depends where, because there's...
We found in a mosque a tunnel that goes, and he just says it, but then you don't see the tunnel in the mosque. Sometimes you do, but often.
So I actually have a lot of videos of that. I remember we put out a lot of videos where we even recorded like whatever is like in different languages, and it shows exactly tunnels, and if you find something in the IDF hospital, you have to follow on the spokesperson unit on like Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, you will see that. But if like foreign media, a lot of times you have to ask yourself like who, let's say Fox News, CNN, you know what they're going to show and whatnot. But the IDF actually releases those things. And there's also a lot of things that are not being released because it's very sensitive. So, and your enemy is watching you. So that's awesome. But there's a lot of things and footage that the IDF releases, and that happens like every day. You get like videos like that.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And you're very inspiring and wonderful and fresh and lovely. I lived in Haifa for a short period, for about 1.5 years now, just recently, and we focus so much on the war, and I'm thinking at this time particularly, with the North being challenged, that there should be so much positive emphasis on the way that Haifa is really a multi-ethnic city. You know, for example, I'm connected with Haifa University. It was the deacon sent out an email of sadness, expressing compassion for all the Druze members, students, and it goes very much under the radar. It's so quiet. No one really, we sort of hammer at the wall. And I just think, maybe take this to your leaders or team leaders, and just put out who Haifa is, what Haifa is, how, and who the North, who Hezbollah is actually targeting. If Haifa is going to be a major city that they, God forbid, target, just heavy on Haifa's greatness. Really, it's a very amazing city. Go to the beach, you walk on the beachfront. You've got everybody there, and the same. The Arab people are jogging, Druze are jogging. It's walking with babies. There's an integration. It's a very, very special city.
I'm sure I've been there multiple times, but I mean, Hezbollah doesn't really care.
So all we hear is we hear about Tel Aviv being got a bit targeted again in Yerushalayim, but Israel is more than that. So bring Haifa. Talk about Haifa. Bring the positive.
It's just Israel or Tel Aviv are just very symbolic. Like if you send a rocket to Jerusalem, let's say, or you see like the Iranians when they sent all their rockets here, and you saw the rockets over the Knesset. This picture is like something very symbolic. When they send the rockets to Jerusalem, they fly over Al-Aqsa, they fly over the Knesset. It's a different statement. I completely understand. I know it's right. You shouldn't differentiate. I just think it's all politics. They wanted to make.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying just circumvent, like the natural focus is always just this dogged war narrative. And let the world understand that when the North is being targeted, they're targeting a multi-ethnic city, which is a gem in this country. So I'm saying bring some positive.
That shows you how much Hezbollah doesn't. All those terrorist groups don't care.
I'm not talking about Hezbollah. I'm saying to you about people like South Africans who don't know, who are not aware that Haifa is a multi-ethnic city. Bring that information. I'm saying it's a positive spin. I'm not saying it's not about being defensive. It's about saying this is a gem in this country, and just be aware of what Hezbollah is targeting. They want to destroy something which is very precious. A little more emphasis for Haifa.
I remember at the beginning of the war, Israel sent footage with our people to show them, and to the United Nations. The United Nations, what did they do about it? Nothing. It was just Jewish blood. It didn't matter. Then they want proof that it is. So they're going to bring back the dead people and let them give proof of what happened to them. Why isn't there something that we can do that can turn the mood, the way the United Nations as behaving in this terrible time? I mean, they have taken the victims and turned them into the perpetrators.
Pure anti-Semitism.
Well, but that doesn't know.
I know.
And the
We showed them.
Become a virus without a cure.
But it's always been there, and it will always be there, and it doesn't matter. Jewish blood is just cheaper than every other blood. That's a sad reality. I don't think it will ever really change. I mean, since there's a Jewish nation, there's also hate. And it doesn't matter how much dead people we show them. I've been here with delegations and showed them. We've been to Shura, where there was where they put all of the dead people. We showed it to them. They saw them with their own eyes. We showed them the 47-minute video, where, by the way, Hamas did the best hasbara for us. They videographed their own cruelties and atrocities that they did. So they saw these horrible images. Maybe some of them I saw went to the toilet and had to, And then 5 minutes later, they are sitting there writing their texts, and it's all about how terrible the situation in Gaza is. It doesn't matter how much proof we give them and how much we show them.
Two questions. One is Have you or any of your colleagues had any contact or connection with the South African government, and how's that gone?
Me personally not, but we have a unit that's like, it's divided, in the spokesperson unit, it's divided into different countries. So we
Do you know how that's gone?
I'm sorry, I have to ask, but I think
Germany, in the last 5 years, politically, how have you seen the situation change in Germany?
so. First of all, I want to say Germany is one of our biggest allies and supporters. The first politician that came here after the 7th was actually the German foreign minister. And she's been here multiple times since then. I've met her every time she was here. She really was, even if it's the shushu and like, oh, they help us with whatever we need. And I see, even my parents, they told me, I mean, there's a lot of Palestinians and Arab supporters who go on the streets and are very violent, and it's really pure anti-Semitism and hate against Jews. And I see how the police is acting, and also a politician, and there is a change. You see it. Like this time, you really can see that they're much more like, there's much more intervention, and there's even a lot of steps they did in order to not let them spread all their hate. Let's say people who write and people who immigrate. I think they have to recognize Israel, as a country, and also hate speech and every anti-Semitic things that get published on social media or any other platform. People get actually into jail for that. So there's a lot of, I think Germany, I'm very proud actually of how they're handling this situation. I think they're starting to wake up.
Brit, did you have an experience where a foreign journalist was so anti-Israel, such animosity, and then suddenly there was a changeover? If yes, what caused that changeover to be pro-Israel?
Wow. A lot of times they come, hate us, and they even hate us even more. But that's, I think, okay, so there was one journalist, I'm not going to say his name, and also not from which news outlet he is, but he said, we come here, and then we have a boss who sits somewhere in Germany. And he has certain visions of how our report should look like and sound like from here. And so even if we see different things and we write about it and it doesn't fit into his vision, we need to change it. So I know of one who actually worked for many, many years for one of the biggest television in Germany, and he left. And there's a lot of actually journalists that came this time who were very supportive. And the journalists that were here and came here, their reports were very pro-Israel actually. And the ones who were reporting from abroad were very against us. So you saw when they come here and see it in their own eyes, they see the truth, and you cannot deny it, you cannot lie about it. And so I'm very proud actually that the spokesperson unit had a big impact on that. As I said again, there's journalists who are going to come no matter what they see, they have their opinion. There's some who are very scared of their boss that's sitting somewhere and are going to report to please them. And there's some who come here who see the truth and report what's really going on here. So you have those different types.
And military experts like my dear friend Colonel Richard Kemp,
Yes.
a gentleman like that goes down and he talks as a professional, as an army commander. How much influence has he got towards the journalists? Because he's doing a great job. all the time. So should there be more Richard Kemps around helping us in our effort?
For sure. We need everyone who has an influence and needs to right now be on our side and fight this fight, because we're now right now in times that we're literally we're fighting for our existence, and we need as much support as we can. In critical times, we're gonna win this, but we still need the support. We need every helping hand. So everyone who can do even a tiny thing, even if people think, what I'm gonna do is not gonna help, you never know. So every drop makes a huge difference.
I wanted to ask, I don't know how much relevance it would have in the long run, but do you have any involvement with people from the Muslim world that are pro-Israel?
Me personally?
I mean, as far as putting things on TV and whatever, getting public view of things like that. People from the Muslim world, who believe in Islam, but they're not extremists. They're not pro-Israel. There are some. I mean, I've come across some videos on YouTube. Have you had any maga with things like that?
I did. I'm in the spokesperson.
Or do you think it would make any difference?
In the spokesperson unit, I actually yes. First of all, the best people who do Israel advocacy right now, some of the best who also reach a lot of people, are Captain Ella. She's a good friend of mine actually. She's incredible. Yosef Haddad also. So that's what I want to say. So the best ones are actually not Jewish. Yosef Haddad, the Green Prince, Captain Ella. So they are. We also have another spokesperson. He's Arab, who's also the spokesperson of Netanyahu. They're doing amazing jobs and reaching a lot of people. And we see there's a lot of, thank you. There's actually a lot of supporters, also Arabs, who had enough, and they cannot say that out loud because, but they make a huge of a difference.
Right, but I mean,
they're gems.
I assume maybe in a long run period, hopefully it would make some kind of difference on the world of extremist, extreme Islam. I don't know anything about Islam. Obviously, I'm a Jew and I believe in the Torah, but I suspect that it might be at least one step towards making some kind of normalization between Israelis and Arabs.
There's also Dalia Ziada from Egypt.
So again, we also see in statistics like the people they reach, it's incredible. They reach so much, and they always tell me also they get messages from people and so much support and stuff, but again, they can't say it out loud. And also we have which is very new, we have a Persian department in the spokesperson unit, and a lot of Iranians who actually support us and say like we hate our regime, like, we support you. We see this all over. So
I'll just say one more thing, very very short. I happen to I've seen videos of there's a judo fighter, the Said Mulai, who came from Iran, and he eventually moved away from Iran because they wouldn't let him fight Israelis. And he now competes for Mongolia. He actually became one of Saki Muki, who is an Israeli judo fighter. One of their, they're very good friends, which was something very unique for me to see. Maybe there's some hope left. Who knows?
Never lose the hope.
Anyway.
It's not by incident that our nationality named It's called Hatik. So hope is the strong.
I think the one who's helping us very much is Douglas Murray.
Yes.
That man,
Yeah.
I think he must have Jewish blood right down to his toes. He's unbelievable.
The best people who do Israel advocacy are non-Jews here.
I watch him on every block that I see his name come up.
Yeah.
I go to sleep with him in my head. He's the most, and he's so outspoken.
Yes.
And he doesn't care who he's speaking to, not even to Kamala Harris, not even talking to the king. He's just going to talk.
Yeah.
He's a most outstanding young man.
Right.
Wow. Thank God bless him.
Do you think perhaps trying something counterintuitive, like not necessarily officially from the IDF spokesperson's office, but maybe from anonymous, I mean, it comes maybe from the office, but anonymously saying something like, but like exaggerating the figures in such a way that kind of makes everything look like nonsense. For example, somebody mentioned the attack on the hospital, and they said initially 500 people were dead. But like bringing up figures like 50,000 people were killed in the hospital, or 500,000 people, or maybe saying 8 billion Palestinians have been killed since 1948. I mean, just I know it's really wild figures,
They really
but
have that on social media. There's one of that.
okay. But I mean, if there's something like so exaggerated, that's unbelievable. I don't know if it would perhaps drown out and then kind of neutralize their.
It would be believed. It would be believed.
Okay.
How did the AI affect work?
How does AI affect my work? So we've seen right now, during the war, there was a lot of pictures and fake news spread with AI, and pictures that were, I mean, you've seen it all probably. The little kids with suddenly like 7 fingers on one hand, or like people who look the same. You see your enemies using AI to even spread more fake news. So it's really, it's very dangerous. All these like deep speech and whatever, you can actually have, let's say, Netanyahu's voice and say some nonsense, put it out, and people believe it. You hear something, before you check your facts, you see someone standing there and it looks like Netanyahu, sounds like Netanyahu, says we're gonna, I don't know, start a world war in 24 hours. That it makes something. So it's very, I think we right now, we might think we have it under control. I don't know what's going to happen like in a month or 2 or a year from now. But it's something that's very, very dangerous and very helpful, but also very dangerous. I mean, when the human invented the fire, they knew they could do good things with that or bad things. I think AI here is something that I hope we're going to have it under control. I don't know. This is what I hope. But yeah, I see. I mean, everyone has access to it. Everyone can use it. If you see, they can already put out so much fake news that people believe. Take it down, but until you take it down, people already saw it and believed it and whatnot. So, and only I think only in a couple of months we can see how dangerous it actually really is.
I wanted to ask him.
Yeah, no, but he was first.
Yeah, I was going back to the statements like around the time they're going to Al Shifa. There were some instances there they pointed to like something on the wall in Arabic, and they said it was a terrorist list, and then you had people who knew Arabic saying that it wasn't that. So why does this?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Yeah, you have instances where the spokespeople say this certain thing written in Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
They say like it's a list of terrorists, and then some people who know Arabic come out and say, well,
we know Arabic. That's just a calendar. That's like an instance.
I mean, if people who say it on our side, it's probably verified, and there's, I don't know who said it's not what we said it is, but you can not really trust them. I mean, even if they say I know Arabic and he is Arab and he speaks Arabic, but I mean, you can lie. It's the same as now when Hezbollah fired the rockets to Majd al-Shams and they say no, it wasn't us. So who was it? Us.
Me again. What is something, I mean, we're all different, specifically maybe for us non-New girls, like what can we do to help? Like I share a lot on my Instagram, but my Instagram's also just my Jewish like friend.
Yeah.
Get out there, how can we help with advocacy or during this war, like we all just want to do something, what can we do?
I mean, so there's a lot of organizations actually you can go to. Stand With Us. There's so many. Google it, you will find lots. Ask them. Maybe they also Stand With Us does like training. They give you tools how to combat fake news, anti-Semitism. They have actually. Yes.
Yeah.
So they have like this training room there also. I have a good friend I can connect you to. So there's a lot of organizations you can go to, and yeah, I think even if you spread those things all over social media, it will get somewhere. So as I said before, even if it feels small, you never know who it can get to and who it can impact, and how it can change someone's view. But again, there's a lot of organizations. Look for one that you feel you relate to the most and just go ask them if you can do something. Cool.
Has the IDF Spokesman's division engaged with any influencers and celebrities to use their power on a political basis to help Israel, and are they having that influence in a positive way?
I think there's one who was with us for a couple of times, Nate
Buzz.
Yes, Nate Buzz, who was like on Vampire Diaries, huge as well. Yeah. And Steinfeld too. There were so many. I think during my reserve times I met so many celebrities. It was insane. So also, I mean, Elon Musk was here.
Elon Musk.
He is, you know, you can think about him. What he is. Yeah, but he did actually do, also when he came here, a lot of pro-Israel advocacy, and so there's a lot. There's a lot of people. I don't have everyone now in my head, but it helps. And that really actually shows who's our allies, because they lose also a lot of followers, but they're not afraid to stand in front of everyone and receive all the hate. They do it. It's incredible.
I want to ask you, the Elon Cohen, I think his name is Cohen, he was spokesman in England.
Elon Levy.
Levy.
Yeah.
I mean, this man, after Douglas Murray, he's the next one. And I'm an old lady and I watch a lot of all this, that keeps me going. But the thing is, he is so well spoken, his English is perfect, his facts are outstanding. I know he's British, but the fact is, why did our government let just push him out? This is a man to be proud of. So now they've got him, he's got his own business, and I still hear him at night. I hear him talking. He's wonderful.
Yeah, yes. He's amazing. There's a lot of politics. I don't
There's a lot of
want to get into
unnecessary politics, but the fact is, one has to, in a time like this, you've got to put politics aside and get the right people in the right place.
Very true.
Well, there we go. There's another one down the drain.
On a more positive note, thank you, Brit. This has been a brilliant.
What would you like to be doing in 20 years' time?
Wow.
showing throughout the Ministry of Foreign
I would
Affairs.
like not to be called into reserve duty because our country will be in such a good place that we're not going to have to face any war.
But what is your personal, I mean, right now you've spoken about your dreams and fulfilling them. Do you have any further dreams? You're a young woman, and I'm sure that you're thinking about your future.
I always have dreams. I think since October 7th I stopped planning, so I'll see where the journey takes me. But for right now, I'm very happy where I am, and I want to continue this path and grow even more. And the sky's the limit.
So, Brit, thanks. It's been a brilliant presentation. I'm sure everybody's enjoyed it. And before we've got a presentation for you, I'd like to share something which is relevant to what Doron said and relevant to your presentation that we're going to be giving in the name of Telfed.
Dear Telfed, thank you very much what you give to us. We appreciate it. It's very happy to us. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We almost need it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So in sharing what Doron said before in the welcoming words, what Telfed does for our lone soldiers, and not only lone soldiers, all soldiers, a donation has been made in your honor to give tziyud to Chayalim, and we've got a certificate here to thank you for your part in that. So please come and accept. You're deserving of it, and it's a pleasure to have your family with us.
Yeah.
She's great.
Thank you. She's great.
I couldn't have done anything without my family.
All right. Please continue eating, mingling for a couple of minutes, have some of the refreshments. There's a lot to still be